Hi there, I'm doing another of my occasional film camera reviews. This time, what is it? It's it's a camera I've never owned before. It's a Petri GX-1, except it isn't a Petri, but I'll come to that in a minute. Yeah, Petri are one of those camera makes like Ricoh, Cosina, I suppose you might say Zenith and Praktica as well. They weren't amongst the big boys like Nikon, Canon, Pentax, Olympus, who were like the Premier League cameras. But the likes of Petri and Ricoh and Cosina, they were respected cameras for the amateur photographer. They had a good following. They were seen as good, solid, dependable cameras, but you wouldn't get any pro photographers running around with a Petri in preference to a Nikon. But after saying that, they're a good camera. I'd never had one before. I had a friend that bought a Petri and I'd never even heard of them. But he was an RAF film photographer for the RAF, and he said they're a very dependable, reliable camera. So when the opportunity arose to get a Petri, I went for it. Well, this camera, as I say, it's a Petri, but it isn't a Petri. It's Cosina. Petri went bust, well, they got into financial difficulties in 1979, I think it was. They're obviously committed to bringing out an SLR camera. So this is a Cosina, I've got it written down here, CT-1A. It's an identical camera, and in fact here's a picture of it here. Yeah, and the Cosina were obviously making the camera for Petri, just sticking on the Petri label. So it's a Cosina CT. What we'll say is it's about the smallest SLR camera where I've ever seen this Cosina stroke Petri. In fact, it's smaller than my Lumix, which is a mirrorless camera. A lot smaller. It is really small. I got this for £18 with a lens, with a 35-80 lens. So bargain, and it's absolutely in A1 condition. It's brand new condition. It looks like it's hardly been used. I'm going to show you some examples I've taken, black and white and colour. But what I'm going to tell you about this camera, well, it's a mechanical camera. It just winds on. It's not electronic advance and return. You have to leave it cocked like that if you're going to take a photograph. And don't forget to sort of shut it, uncock it basically, otherwise it'll be switched on. Because as I say, even though it's a mechanical camera, it does have a lens, a light meter, which is battery driven LR44 battery, or is it batteries? It doesn't matter anyway. So yes, wind on, leave it cocked and shoot, and then close. It goes from, it's got B-stop of course, from 1 second to 1,000. You adjust the ISO over here. It's like all cameras, and it's got a very accurate light meter. I found it really accurate actually. It's got a scale. You look through, and you have a scale in the viewfinder that's red plus and red minus at each end of the scale, and the trick is to get it on the green spot in the middle. Set your speed, say 125 or 250. Look through, get your aperture, and when you've got it right and the green dot is lit up, then that's telling you you're good to go. And it works remarkably well. It's a very accurate light meter. I wasn't sure it was working actually because the batteries had been left in, which is one of the problems about buying old cameras. Is a lot of people who haven't used them for years leave the batteries in, and of course they corrode, and that can cause irreparable damage. Luckily they hadn't corroded. There was a bit of corrosion, but it wasn't bad. Just stuck new batteries in, and yeah, it was fine. I've been very happy with it actually. I took it away on my camping weekend on the last van life video. I took some shots which are amongst the ones I'll show you in a minute. As I say, it's very small and light. It's solid build. It feels solid. It's metal bodied. It's got like a vinyl veneer sort of coating. It uses the Pentax K mount, so very easy to change lenses. So as I say, interchangeable with the Pentax. Easy loading, basically. Well, I don't need to tell, if you're interested in film cameras, I don't need to tell you how to load a camera. But if you're an amateur, some people who have no experience of film cameras seem to have an inordinate amount of problems with it. But basically, film goes in there, you drag it across, get it in the slot over here. Make sure, wind it on a few times, make sure that it is spooling properly, and shut the back. I usually rewind it to get the tension, and you'll know if it's correct, because as you wind on, this will turn, and you'll know that everything's working as it should. Yeah, it's got as a B-stop, it's got tripod mount. It's got self-timer down here. Self-timer works fine. Yeah, it's been a good little camera actually. I've had it about a couple of months now. I've taken about 4 rolls of film, or 3 or 4, black and white, and 2 or 3 rolls of colour, and it's been a good camera. So yeah, I'd say I'd recommend it if you see one. I mean, this was, as I say, peanuts, £18 with a spare lens. It's absolutely a giveaway. But you will see them on eBay for, you know, 20, 25 quid, 30 quid maybe. If you're looking for a cheap and functional and decent film camera, SLR camera, then I can recommend this. Yeah, it's a good little camera. As I say, it's a Cosina, so it doesn't matter whether you're buying the Petri or the Cosina. It's the same one. It's the same camera. So it doesn't matter what you look out for. The films which I'm going to show you were self-developed. I developed them myself. It was on Fomapan 100 ASA black and white film, which is one of the cheapest black and white films you can get. Fujichrome 200. Which was out of date, about a year out of date, and in fact the chemicals, developing chemicals, were out of date. Both. I'm a bit tight, so I'm very loath to throw away chemicals, even though they're past their sell-by date, when they still seem to be working okay. So yeah, self-developed Fuji and Fomapan films, scanned on an Epson 370 scanner, which is just a basic, one of the basic flatbed scanners. And yeah, see what you think. Yeah, I think they're not bad. As I say, I'd like to see them developed. I'd like to see how they turn out if on an expensive film, like costing £10 or £12 a roll and professionally developed. As I mine are very much lo-fi, homemade developing. Yeah, that's it. That's the Petri, or the Cosina, the Cosina CT-1A, or the Petri GX-1. Same camera. If you see one and you're looking for a cheap and very useful little SLR camera, then I can recommend it. So thanks for watching. Speak soon.